Hey, so I've been meaning to make this video for literally a year. So yeah, I'm a bit deaf. I don't know if I'm really allowed to use that word. Because I mean, if you look up the definition of deaf, the definition of deaf is literally just lacking or deficient in the sense of hearing, right? And I am hard of hearing, like that's kind of more accurate, but I think that kind of falls under the umbrella term. I don't know if I'm like appropriating a term that doesn't fully apply to me. Yeah, so I'm not fully deaf. If I take my hearing aids out, I'm gonna do that right now. Take my hearing aids out, I can still hear. I can hear myself talking. If there were any other noises in the room, then I would be able to hear them. If someone was talking to me, I would probably be able to understand them if I concentrated, especially if we're in a quiet room with no background noise. I literally got hearing aids a year ago, which is slightly worrying seeing as I didn't just develop I didn't lose my hearing overnight or anything. Like, this has been a thing throughout my whole life and I didn't realise until last year, which is completely crazy. When I was little, I used to daydream a lot and I used to just zone out entirely. And like when I'd watch the TV, I would be so engrossed in it that if anyone spoke to me, I wouldn't like hear them. I wouldn't be able to like break away from that. And like my parents just thought that I was like a bit of a daydreamer, a bit dozy, a bit like, oh, doolally, which I am, to be fair. They used to say I was on Planet Emma when I didn't respond. I'd be watching TV and they'd say something to me and I just wouldn't hear them. This was not just because I get very invested in media, but also because I literally struggle to hear people unless I am concentrating on what they're saying, especially when I'm not wearing my hearing aids. I still have it a bit when I'm wearing my hearing aids. It's not necessarily that I can't hear that someone is speaking to me. If I see someone and they're speaking to me, I can usually hear that their mouth is making noises, but I find it difficult to actually clarify what they're saying. I kind of have to deduce it, like decode it and translate it. It's like I'm having to translate it into another language. So like if someone has a really quiet voice, or there's lots of background noise like interrupting it, or they have a particular accent that changes the sounds to the sounds that I'm used to, then I find it very difficult to understand what they're saying, which has become especially difficult at uni when you're like at parties where there's loud music, or when you meet people with lots of varying accents. It's rather stressful because even though I do have hearing aids, they really improve my hearing, but they don't make it perfect. Like, they can't fix everything. I remember when I got them, the audiologist said to me that it probably won't make that huge a difference because your hearing loss is so minor and it's just certain sounds, and I think it's the middle range. Like, I can hear particularly high sounds and particularly low sounds really clearly, but particularly women's voices and some men's voices are in the middle range, and that's why I find it so difficult when talking to people. I actually have a lot of hearing loss in my family as well because my granny is deaf in one ear and has had like operations on her ears. I don't know the intense details, and I think it's very different to what I have. And my dad also has hearing aids because, like me, he has a loss of the middle range. And I remember, again, when I was younger, he would never hear what we were saying to him. And again, we just thought he was a bit like off in his own world, but really he literally just couldn't hear us, and we would be like yelling at him, or like when we found out that it was the middle range that was the problem, we used to talk to him in like really squeaky voices, which obviously isn't really that helpful, but we'd be like, "Dad!" in the hopes that he'd actually hear us. So maybe it's genetics, who knows. I got my hearing aids a year ago and I love them. I mean, I kind of hate them also. I remember when I first got them, they were so uncomfortable, so itchy, and like they have a little bit of static in the background. That's how I know that they're turned on. And it used to really bug me. And now I don't notice it as much, and like I can't even really feel them too much in my ears, like they don't irritate me anymore. But I do like crave that moment when I get home at the end of the day and I take them out and it's like, ah, quiet, because I don't have any quiet all day because of the static. It's kind of like, you know, when you take your bra off and it's like, oh, I can like relax now. Should I show you them? I mean, they're slightly gross obviously because they've been in my ears. Can I just Just focus. Aha! Yes, did it. So yeah, look, it's got like it's literally so tiny, it's so tiny, you can't even see it. No one ever knows that I have hearing aids. It's like this little plastic thing that goes in my ear, and then this goes behind my ear, and it's completely hidden. That's the little battery that the people give me for free, and you do that to turn it on, and it makes a little noise. I don't know if you probably can't hear that. You can't hear it unless it's in your ear, and it has like a little button to like turn it up and down, but mine don't work because they said that I wouldn't need it. So yeah, I just like click it, pop it in my ear, goes behind it. Literally you can't even like, you can't see it at all. I don't know if this is in focus at all. Have you ever seen those videos of like a blind person, not blind person, a colourblind person seeing for the first time with colour, like when they put those glasses on, it's like, whoa! When I first put these in, it was kind of like that. Like, I remember walking to the car and like hearing the rustling in the leaves of the trees, and like when the engine started it was so loud. I just kept like clicking things, like being like, oh my god, I can hear this. It was like such a surreal experience. Also, like, it makes my voice sound like a lot louder, which is weird to get used to, but like now I don't even notice it. When I first went into lunch at school, and like obviously there's like loads of background noise, it's really loud, and it still wasn't perfect, but I could hear everyone so much better than I normally could, and it just improved my life so much, because I'm quite a socially awkward, like anxious person in like conversational situations, and I think that it is hugely linked to my hearing. Like, this didn't even click like until recently. The reason why I am so like uncomfortable in social situations is because I'm constantly translating what people are saying to me and trying to understand, and that is really exhausting as well, which is like probably why I don't always want to talk to people, because I just need a break from the constant translation. But yeah, it makes life a bit difficult, I won't lie. Like, I'm being all like positive and like bubbly in this video, but it's not a fun time. Like, even with my hearing aids, I still struggle all the time, especially in loud situations. Like, I think I would love parties and I love socialising, but I just can't do it all the time. I remember in Freshers Week, I went to this house party and there was loud music and everyone was talking. It was all in quite a small space, and people were talking to me. They were like literally yelling. No clue what they were saying. Like, I try to lip read. It's very difficult because as an English language student, I know that like some sounds, like you can see the shape of your mouth, like particularly vowels, because like A, E, I, O, U, like your mouth changes shape. But for like consonants, it's all about your tongue position, so you can't see that. Like, it's very difficult to read. I want to communicate with some more actually deaf people and like find out more about their experiences, so if you like know. I feel like I am like calling myself a bit deaf, but really I have no idea what it's like to be actually deaf. Like, it's completely different to my scenario. Another thing is subtitles. Subtitles are my life. Like, they make my life so much better. I love watching things on Netflix where they always have subtitles and I can always understand what they're saying. Like, I'm generally okay if I have like headphones in and I'm playing it quite loudly, but even if like I'm playing it at full volume, I sometimes need subtitles because it just helps me translate, because I can just read it. So I do struggle with YouTube a bit, especially if people just have really quiet audio, and I understand why most people don't put subtitles on their videos. I don't have subtitles on most of my videos because I just don't have time. Like, it's intensely time consuming. By the way, if anyone has a lot of time on their hands and want like a hobby, if you want to subtitle my videos, like, you can submit it. I don't know how. Maybe I'll put like some links in the description on how to do that, because I really want to make my content accessible to other people and me. There has been times in the past where I've clicked on a YouTube video, put it at full volume, or even put headphones in at full volume and been like, nope, this isn't happening today. Sorry, person whose video I wanted to watch. Please, if you can, make your content accessible if you make content. I totally understand if you can't, but like, maybe just make sure your audio is loud. Like, unplug your headphones, play it out loud, and just make sure it's loud enough, because there's probably a bunch of people like me out there being all hard of hearing, just like, who can't watch that video, and that's not good for you or me. I'm sure some people are like quite ashamed of like their hearing aids or their hearing loss or whatever, but I literally I love talking about it, like it's my favourite topic of conversation. Mostly because if I meet someone then I want them to know. It makes it a lot easier if the other person you're talking to knows that you have hearing problems, because they're more likely to speak louder generally, though some people don't. And be more understanding if you're like, what? Like 5 times, which I hate doing, oh my gosh. Like the amount of times I just guess what someone said and I just like go, oh yeah, and just like agree with them. And like hope that that's the right answer, because I just don't want to ask what they said like 5 times again. Also, now that I'm a lot more confident and I want to talk to people a lot more than I used to, it's just irritating when that is impaired by my hearing. That's why I've only started to realise that the social repercussions was so much recently, because before I knew that I wasn't confident and I knew that was like, I thought that was the main reason why I was like that, why I was so shy and difficult and found it difficult to talk to people. But now I am acutely aware of how much my hearing affects it, because there's less of the actual shyness affecting it. So yeah, I really like if more people talk about this. I want to find more people who have hearing loss, or just like, do you have any kind of physical disability? Or just like tell me about the thing that impairs you in doing what you want to do. Like that could literally be anything. It doesn't have to be a physical thing even, it can be a mental thing. I just want people to relate. So like, how do you relate to this? I don't know anyone like me. That's a bit sad, isn't it? Anyway, if I ever meet you and I seem like I'm ignoring you, I'm probably not. I probably just have no idea what you're saying. So that's a weight off your both our shoulders. I'll see you soon. This has been fun. I really enjoyed filming this video. Goodbye.
Don't know anything, but you talk endlessly. Don't know what it means.